These poker players need help. Behind the bright lights, million-dollar pots, and televised bravado lies a darker side of poker, one filled with addiction, self-destruction, and brutal downfalls. In this video, we're diving headfirst into the wildest crash-and-burn stories the game has ever seen. From drug abuse and crushing debt to jail time and complete financial ruin, these once great players had it all until they lost everything. Jaime Gold, lightning in a bottle. Jaime Gold exploded onto the scene in 2006 with a WSOP main event performance that was nothing short of legendary. Armed with gutsy bluffs, non-stop table talk, and a streak of luck, he outlasted over 8,700 players to take home a record-setting $12 million. Overnight, Jaime became a household name in poker, but the spotlight didn't last long. His victory quickly turned sour after a legal battle with business partner Crispin Laser, who claimed half the winnings based on a handshake deal. The case settled, but Jaime's take-home payday shrank considerably. Meanwhile, his poker game flatlined. He never came close to repeating that success and faded from the spotlight just as fast as he entered it. Rumors of reckless spending and poor investments followed, and before long, Jaime Gold's poker legacy became that of a one-hit wonder. Today, he pops up on the occasional live stream and focuses on charity, but his glory days at the table are a thing of the past. Frenemies on tilt. Matusow and Shiki's wild ride. If poker ever had a buddy movie gone wrong, it would star Mike the Mouth Matusow and Sean Shiki Shikan, two of the game's most explosive personalities, whose friendship, rivalry, and self-destruction were as dramatic as anything seen on the felt. Matusow rose to fame, not just for his fearless play and for WSOP bracelets, but for his emotional meltdowns, trash talk, and volatile energy. He was poker's unfiltered voice, earning both fans and enemies in equal measure. But behind the bravado was a man constantly battling addiction. In 2004, the Mouth was sentenced to 6 months in jail after being caught in a DEA sting buying and selling ecstasy and prescription painkillers. His time behind bars was brutal. He suffered from severe depression and claimed he was denied proper medical treatment for his back condition. He once said that jail taught him patience, but not enough to keep his life on the rails. Enter Sean Shikan, known simply as Shiki. A loud, aggressive, and often obnoxious table presence, Shiki was Matusow's equal in volatility. The two shared screen time in iconic Poker After Dark and WSOP moments, famously bickering during hands, needling each other, yet also sharing real camaraderie behind the scenes. They were frenemies in the truest sense, capable of laughter 1 minute and all-out war the next. But Shiki's issues ran even deeper. A 1995 conviction for sexual battery of a minor dogged his reputation, and in recent years, his past finally caught up with him. In 2022, Shiki was sentenced to 33 months in federal prison for running an illegal marijuana distribution ring out of Las Vegas. Once a brash regular in the high-stakes world, Shiki now finds himself locked up for good old-fashioned criminal enterprise. No poker, no lights, no bluffs. Just time. Matusow, for all his chaos, has managed to stay out of prison since his early 2000s stint, but continues to battle his demons in the public eye, with occasional rants on his YouTube channel and poker appearances that remind everyone of his raw talent and his volatility. Together, their stories paint a gritty portrait of poker's darker side. Fame, fortune, and friendship weren't enough to keep them grounded. For one, prison was a turning point. For the other, it's now a destination. Either way, it's clear. When tilt extends beyond the table, the fall can be devastating. We brought you some of the most heartbreaking stories ever told. Now it's your turn. Got a wild poker downfall or comeback story? Share it below and keep the content rolling. Like and subscribe to stay in the game. Peter Eastgate, the $9 million exit. In 2008, at just 22 years old, Denmark's Peter Eastgate became the youngest WSOP main event champion in history, taking home $9.1 million in 2008. But while most winners parlay their fame into more poker, Eastgate did the opposite. He walked away. Despite some follow-up success, Eastgate quickly became delusioned with the lifestyle. He cited burnout, anxiety, and a lack of passion for the game. In 2010, he sold his WSOP bracelet on eBay and publicly declared he was retiring from poker to find his purpose. Although he later returned for a few appearances, the fire never reignited. His rise was swift, his exit clean, but it left behind a haunting what if? What happens when a poker star wins the dream and realizes it's not what he wanted? Eric Lingren, the debt-fueled collapse. Eric E-Dog Lingren once stood at the pinnacle of poker fame, televised star, WPT champion, WSOP bracelet winner, and Full Tilt sponsored pro. He had swagger, skill, and millions in winnings. At the height of the poker boom, he was living the dream. But behind the scenes, his world was crumbling. Lingren had a serious sports betting addiction. He placed reckless bets, borrowed from friends to chase losses, and lived well beyond his means. When Full Tilt collapsed after Black Friday, the money he had tied up in the company vanished, and the cracks in his empire split wide open. By 2012, it all came crashing down. He filed for bankruptcy, revealing more than $10 million in debt, most of it owed to fellow poker players. Rehab stints and comeback attempts followed, but the damage was done. Once a fan favorite, Lingren is now a cautionary tale of how success without discipline can lead to total ruin. Stu Ungar, brilliant, broken, gone. Stu Ungar wasn't just good at poker, he was a savant. A 3-time WSOP main event champion with razor-sharp instincts and a photographic memory. He dismantled anyone who dared sit across from him, whether in poker or gin rummy, but no amount of skill could protect him from the demons inside. Addicted to cocaine, Ungar burned through millions as fast as he won them. He'd dominate a tournament, then vanish into a drug-fueled haze, only to return broke and broken. Even his miraculous third main event win in 1997 was tinged with tragedy. He spent most of it high, and soon broke again. In 1998, he was found dead in a seedy Las Vegas motel, with just a few dollars in his pocket. Stu Ungar remains one of the greatest to ever play, and one of the most haunting reminders of talent wasted by addiction. Mark Kroon, the poker dream that turned into debt. Mark Poker Ho Kroon was a loud, brash online grinder who became a cult hero during the boom. Known for wild swings and hyper-aggressive play, he climbed the ranks and earned a Team Poker Stars sponsorship. In 2013, he even finished day one of the WSOP main event as the chip leader, only to crash out before the final table. But behind the screen name and antics was a man crushed by gambling addiction. Kroon publicly admitted to spiraling into debt from sports betting and other forms of gambling. He lost sponsorships, struggled financially, and eventually faded from the poker spotlight. Despite attempts at rebuilding, Kroon's career serves as yet another cautionary tale. In poker, riding the highs isn't enough. You've got to survive the crashes. Brad Booth, the high-stakes ghost. Brad Yukon Booth wasn't just a poker player. He was a force of nature during the mid-2000s poker boom. With icy composure and relentless aggression, Booth carved out a reputation as a fearless crusher in the biggest games alive. Who could forget him dropping a $1 million cash stack on the felt to challenge Phil Ivey on high-stakes poker? At the time, it looked like Booth was untouchable. However, the cracks were spreading fast. As the poker economy cooled, Booth's gamble-heavy style stopped working. Variance hit hard, and so did life. Shady side ventures, reckless spending, and millions lost in the infamous ultimate bet cheating scandal drained his bankroll to fumes. By 2012, the poker world was stunned when Booth admitted he was broke and living in his car. From million-dollar pots to sleeping in parking lots, Booth's story is a gut-punch reminder that in poker, skill alone can't save you when the brakes are gone and the cliff is near. Dutch Boyd, from WSOP glory to courtroom misery. Dutch Boyd was once hailed as the next great poker mind, a young prodigy who nearly won the WSOP main event at 24 and went on to win 3 WSOP bracelets. But Boyd's brilliance was tangled with deep mental health struggles, legal chaos, and business disasters. He co-founded PokerSpot, one of the first online poker sites, but it crashed spectacularly, along with over $400,000 of players' funds. Boyd's erratic behavior, fueled by bipolar disorder and impulsive decisions, torched his reputation. Lawsuits followed, including a loss to 2plus2 publisher Mason Malmuth in court for cybersquatting. Though Boyd made attempts to bounce back and even had brief tournament runs, the damage was done. Today, he's more remembered for broken promises and controversy than for his time in the winner's circle. Gavin Griffin, too fast, too young. In 2004, at just 22, Gavin Griffin became the youngest WSOP bracelet winner in history. He followed it up by completing poker's Triple Crown, winning titles on the WSOP, WPT, and EPT. The kid was unstoppable, but success came fast, and so did the downfall. During the poker boom, Griffin lived large, lavish homes, fancy cars, and no budget. When the wind slowed and the poker economy cooled, the money dried up, but the spending didn't. Soon, the prodigy found himself out of the spotlight and out of funds. Though he's worked to rebuild his life, Griffin's story remains a classic case of what happens when a meteoric rise isn't met with financial discipline. Poker giveth, and poker taketh away. Ted Forrest, from legend to liability. Ted Forrest is a 6-time WSOP bracelet winner and one of the most respected names in poker history. But behind his stoic poker face was a man slowly drowning in debt. Despite a career of grinding his way to millions, Forrest's off-the-table decisions proved disastrous. Sports betting became his downfall. The debts piled up, some owed to fellow pros like Mike Matusow, who went public about Forrest owing him hundreds of thousands. Forrest even filed a lawsuit in 2015 claiming $1.8 million was owed to him by billionaire Andy Beal. But the case got tossed. He still plays, but the aura is gone. Forrest's story is a grim warning that no matter how great your grind, poor financial choices and unchecked habits can still bury you. David Benjamin, the silent slide. During the peak of the poker boom, David Benjamin was a machine, cool, calculating, and fearless in the biggest games on earth. He made millions in high-stakes cash games, earning a seat among the game's elite. But beneath the calm surface was a storm of gambling addiction. Sports betting was his poison, and it drained his fortune far faster than poker could rebuild it. Add to that chronic back pain that limited his playing time, and suddenly Benjamin's bankroll began to crumble. By 2008, whispers of bankruptcy circulated. The once feared high-stakes regular faded from the spotlight, playing smaller games to stay afloat. His tale is one more notch in poker's long belt of boom-time stars who gambled it all away. Gus Hansen, from Great Dane to Great Decline. Gus Hansen was a poker rock star, dubbed the Great Dane. He charged into the spotlight with a fearless, hyper-aggressive style that earned him WPT titles, millions in tournament cash, and legions of fans. He wasn't just playing poker, he was redefining it. But while Hansen dazzled on the tournament stage, he was bleeding money in high-stakes cash games, especially online. His bold, unpredictable strategy didn't translate well to the ruthless variants of nosebleed stakes. As Full Tilt's online arena became his battleground, his losses stacked up fast. By 2015, it was reported that Gus had lost over $20 million online, one of the largest downswings in poker history. The same aggression that made him a legend became his downfall, and he never fully adjusted to the evolving game. These days, Hansen still plays, but the golden years are long gone. His fall wasn't sudden, it was slow and brutal. A chilling reminder that in high-stakes poker, even legends can go broke. From million-dollar wins to sleeping in cars, these stories show just how brutal poker can be. If you want more unbelievable rises and devastating falls, hit like, drop a comment, and make sure you're subscribed. More is on the way.